What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to your home for all things combat sports.
Yo.
So we have a great matchup this weekend. Josh Emmett, Ilia Topuria. Topuria looked about as good as you can look in his last outing, submitting the jiu-jitsu ace Bryce Mitchell in the second round. Josh Emmett looking to get back on track after being submitted when he fought Yair Rodriguez for the interim belt. How do you see this fight playing out? Topuria is a 3-1 favorite.
I mean, I think it's a great matchup, but I do think that after that last performance that Topuria put on, that was sort of his coming out party. And now the world knows who he is. He's got the look. He's clearly got the skills. And now he's going to be going up against some really good top level opposition who has been in the biggest fights that division can possibly offer him. But I think this is Ilia Topuria's time. Man, this guy has looked so good every time he's gone out there. And he puts on entertaining fights that do have a bit of a back and forth to them. They're not just total dominations, but he always knows how to handle the adversity well. He always knows how to fire back, and he knows how to bring an intensity that's unmatched for a lot of people. Now, Josh Emmett knows how to bring just the same kind of intensity to a fight, and he's known for being very heavy-handed, very athletic, and having a lot of strength and good grappling. But I think that Ilia Topuria is just a step ahead in every realm of mixed martial arts and physical attributes. I think, he's going to be faster. He's going to be really strong. He's really good on the ground. He's really good with his submissions. He's really good striking. And I just think that Josh Emmett is a little bit old, a little bit past his prime. And this is a very difficult fight for Josh Emmett.
Yeah, I see it as a difficult fight as well. I think the odds makers have this one right. When you submit somebody like Bryce Mitchell, who's a submission ace, you have to take note of how good their ground game is, which is scary because we all used to talk about how good Topuria's striking was. And kind of the common thought going into the Mitchell versus Topuria fight was that Bryce would be okay if he could get him to the ground and he could probably even submit him. But Topuria was like lightning quick on the feet, which he is. But then he proved he's got so many layers to his game that he's very dangerous everywhere. I think this matchmaking tells all. I think the UFC is looking at Ilia as a potential future champion. Now, one thing we know about the 145 division, Max Holloway said he's going to give the Korean Zombie his retirement fight, and then he's going up to 155 because I think he's got unfinished business with Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, and he's looking to have some fun. If he's not going to be given a rematch against Volk after 3 losses, he's going to enjoy what's left of his career and have some big fun fights, and I think he has every right and has earned every right to do that. But that does make 145 really exciting. Who knows what Volk is going to do as well? We don't know how long he wants to hang around and compete at 145, but if he does stick around and he does get past Yair Rodriguez, Topuria versus Volk is an insane fight. That's a striker's dream matchup. Same thing can be said for Yair Rodriguez versus Topuria. So I think the UFC is not putting him in there with Josh Emmett, who just fought for an interim belt, for no reason. They see this as a potential fight that sets him up to get in that discussion about fighting for a belt.
Absolutely. And he's great inside the octagon, but he also knows how to, draw up a bit of attention outside of the octagon. And when you look at the 145 division, for the past several years, it has been, if not the most difficult division to compete in, one of the top 3. And it's so weird that right now we're kind of seeing the start of the changing of the guards, with Max Holloway leaving the division after one more fight. And, you've got people like Josh Emmett who have been to the top but never quite got to the gold yet. 38 years old, you don't know how much longer he's going to be in there. T-City's not all that active anymore. Volkanovski's a bit of an anomaly. He can kind of bounce anywhere at this point, and I think he's going to be looking for more mega fights than just strictly 145 title defenses. But it looks like with Arnold Allen moving in, and you've got, some of these other guys, Ilia Topuria sort of leading the pack, you've got a fresh coat of paint at 145 that's just as competitive, just as lethal, and just as talented as the guys of old from 145 that are still hanging on, but their time is coming to an end.
Yeah, very well said. And talking about this fight specifically, I see it really difficult for Josh because he seems to have a problem when he gets in there with really lightning fast strikers who are very strong and also have good grappling, because he can kind of lean on those power shots. When he fought Calvin Kattar, he was much less active, but he threw really powerful shots and he was able to win the fight. I believe that one was a split decision. He was able to squeak past Kattar. But Calvin is a great boxer, but he's kind of a guy who's going to stand in front of you and throw ones and twos. Somebody like Topuria is very much like Yair Rodriguez. He's going to move in and out. He's going to disguise things. He's going to set traps. He's going to use a lot of kicks. He's going to use a lot of clinch work. He's going to do a lot of things, and he's going to do it at a rapid pace that's going to make it very difficult for Josh to keep up with, in my opinion. But I think the tell-all is the fact that Topuria submitted Bryce Mitchell, and Josh was submitted by Yair Rodriguez. And Yair Rodriguez, as good as he is, he's not known to be a submission ace. And so I think that if Josh is susceptible to a triangle there, he's susceptible to a magnitude of submissions from Topuria.
Absolutely. And Emmett's going to be welcoming him into the 5-round club. And I don't really see this fight going all 5 rounds, so we don't really know how his cardio is going to hold up if it does get into the 4th and 5th. I see this fight ending in a finish. And I know he's like a 3-1 favorite right now, but I'd like to see some of those other odds, like what the chances of it being a finish and, what some of those other numbers are, because I have a feeling this fight's going to end in a finish. And I'm personally going with Ilia Topuria. I think he can finish it on the feet. I think he can finish it on the ground. And when Josh Emmett realizes he can't stand and trade all night with Ilia Topuria, he's going to be looking for ways to take the fight to the ground, which could be the beginning of the end, because as we're finding out, Topuria is just as lethal on the ground as he is on the feet.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to call this one a TKO. I think Topuria is going to be too fast on the feet. I think he's going to land some strikes probably in the 2nd or 3rd that hurt Josh, and he's going to be able to finish it either up against the cage or sort of a ground and pound stoppage from the mount position. I do see Topuria getting his hand raised via TKO, and I see him putting himself squarely into the title discussion at 145.
I agree. I got TKO finish in the 3rd round for Topuria.
Same.